Welcome to the Sailor Noob podcast, where a superfan and a noob talk about the original Sailor Moon episode by episode. I'm your host, Mikan Hana, joined by my co-host.
I'm the co-host and the noob, Caliban. We have such sights to show you.
And we're a couple of magical people ready to Moon Crisis make up this episode. Today we are talking about episode number 159, Chibi-Usa no Chisana Koi no Rhapsody in Japanese. Chibi-Usa's Little Rhapsody of Love, the English translation, and the English title, Rini's Lovely Rhapsody.
And you're going to explain the koi thing.
I am.
In about an hour.
Yes, you are correct.
Then I won't ask any questions right now.
Okay.
I'll just accept it.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll just live in this dream. Or
dream of
nightmare. It's like things from dreams. Oh, it's the candy-colored clown, the Sandman, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes other things come from dreams.
Yeah, there's nightmares.
Like Pinhead, the Hellraiser. No, he's from another dimension. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is that now, finally, we know that's what's happening this season.
Yeah.
Don't know why you'd go 30 episodes most of the way through the season without really letting people know what's going on or where you are. But that's kind of what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
We've got a figure of good dreams, I guess, and then we can only assume that the Dead Moon Circus is the figures of nightmares.
That's true.
Was it just time? I know the answer's in the manga. Was it just time to do, let's do clowns? Or is there something that we're drawing on here about people finding clowns scary?
Ooh.
Remember that scene in Pee-wee's Big Adventure where they're going to operate on his bike?
I personally find clowns...
That's specifically what I was talking about.
Okay. I personally find clowns to be terrifying. But I don't know if that's what they were going for or not.
Nope, just clowns.
Nako Takeuchi.
Great.
I don't know.
You know how we could have found out, but we didn't?
How?
We could have found out if Vogue Japan had the balls to ask her that question.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sit down. Welcome, Miss Takeuchi. Sparkling water? Flat water for Miss Takeuchi. My first question. What's the deal with the clowns? Why clowns?
I mean, maybe it is like that they're off-putting, right? Like that might be part of it. Part of the circus thing.
Guess. It's just this thing where clowns never scare you. I mean, they do. They absolutely do.
Yeah.
But they aren't meant to. The scary clowns only exist in like Spanish horror movies and now American horror movies.
Yeah, right.
There aren't any clowns. I don't think that there was like, oh, there's Chuckles the Happy Clown. Oh, there's Emmett Kelly. Oh, you'll get that spotlight one day. There's Bozo. And then way in the back, glowing coal of a cigarette.
Oh, my God.
Right? Tosses to the side. It comes out. He's got horns or something.
It's awful.
There are no scary clowns.
Okay. I mean, I guess.
If you think about the tradition of performance in the way, here's what I want to do. And I don't know if I have the words because we've just been through so much. I'm trying to connect clowns to passion plays and wagon shows from the medieval times because people would put on bells and things like that's where the clown comes from, right? From something like that tradition.
I guess so.
Not just from France. And so in that you would have like goofy characters, you'd have demons, you'd have it would be biblical, religious kind of things. Mm-hmm. But now clowns are all happy, even though they terrify many children.
I'm terrified.
They're not meant at all to be evil and scary.
Yeah.
So as far as like picking who your bad guys are going to be, seems like you're leveraging the idea that some kids are scared of clowns.
I guess you're right.
Did she have kids by the time she was writing and drawing this?
I don't know what the answer to that. I don't know when her
toddler was terrified by a clown, and she's like, "Wait a minute."
I don't know because she married her husband at some point, and I don't know.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I know. I don't know at what point in the run of Sailor Moon that was. So I don't know when she had her kids. So
maybe she was looking at cars to draw some more cars, and she's like, clown car. Wait a minute. I am a creator.
Did I ever tell you this story one time? I was on a walk and I was all by myself, so I have nobody to corroborate this with.
Okay.
But there was somebody who was going home and they parked at the end of their driveway, got out, full clown getup, checked their mail, went inside their house. I was terrified.
Well,
I'm like, who's going to believe me?
I'd be expecting, more than one person to get out of the car. That's just my history with clowns. Yeah, I have a lot of, I got a lot of friends who have clowned and are down to clown.
Yes.
And they have stories about, going to the ATM, getting pulled over for a speeding ticket,
Oh my God.
stuff like that. But yeah, okay, just throwing it out there.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the recent feature on Ms. Takeuchi in Vogue Japan didn't cover that. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it has been translated yet into English.
I Google Translate. I read it already.
Oh, you read it already?
Yeah.
Oh. You'll have to share that with me.
Unless there's more in the magazine itself, because I read it online. It's just talking about, her history, Sailor Moon, her positivity. She's doing collabs with, Issey Miyake or something like that
Okay.
from something or other.
Okay.
It's kind of a general, she's still kicking. And some of you might not remember that Sailor Moon is, it's been 30 years, that kind of thing.
Okay.
It's not really all that much. People were thinking we're going to see some, she's going to make an announcement about Eternal or, something like that. It's
right.
Nah. She's going to wear a nice blouse and just, they're going to go, hey, thumbs up.
Okay. I still want to read it, though.
Okay. Vogue
right.
Japan.
Vogue Japan.
Vogue.jp.com.org / Creed Thoughts. Check it out.
Great thought.
Every week we check out what our listeners thought about our episodes on Spotify. On Spotify, if you are an app user or a web user, you can go to each episode of the show and answer our Q&A question, what did you think about this episode?
Yes.
And I want to tell folks that these only go back so far. They only added this feature, I think, a couple months ago.
Okay.
And so there are only Q&A questions for a couple months ago. If you are behind and you're I'm listening to episode 115 and you write a Q&A, we might see the answer. Every once in a while I go way back through the list.
Sure.
But mostly these are just recent ones. So
Yeah.
if you've responded to episode 100 or something like that and we haven't said anything, that's why. But we do have the reason I thought about this is because we've got a couple listeners who are catching up, I think.
Okay, sure.
Because on episode 156,
Okay.
a couple episodes ago now, we have
Yeah.
a few more answers to the question, what did you think about this episode? Listener Helena La Rota Lopez says, between the artist is not present
Yeah.
and the little drawing noises, I am respectfully deceased. Crying, laughing emoji. By the way, thanks for venting on how effed up the moral is. Our work is often undervalued because of this stereotype.
That's absolutely true.
So words from
Yeah.
an artist there. And I believe that what we were getting at is that, the idea of the integrity of an artist is no, I'm not going to do that, but I'm hungry.
I know.
Yeah. And I thought that it's just a very kind of weird mixed message about the value of art and the artist in that episode.
Yeah, and how you value yourself and what you do.
As long as you don't rip my mirror out and kill me, lady, I will draw pictures of you all day long. I don't care.
Yeah, right.
Eyes too big, too small, whatever. So thanks for your comment, Helena. And Black Star Raven tells us, I watched this episode with a 103-degree temperature and on 3 bourbon highballs.
Oh my God.
Then I rewatched it later while not sick or drunk, and it was considerably less entertaining the second time. So
I can believe it.
And I can commiserate with that. Listeners, if you're please drink responsibly when you're watching the show.
Yeah.
I just don't operate any motor vehicles, but yeah, I understand needing to get a little turned to appreciate some of this stuff. On episode 157, Pegasus disappears, wavering friendship. We got another comment from Black Star Raven who says, oh, here we go. We got more poetry. Chibiusa's trust Pegasus must earn. But alas, fate takes a sudden turn. As Chris Hansen's voice begins to churn,
To catch a predator.
take a seat, he gently implores. A request that shakes Pegasus to the core.
It's great.
You
Oh
just
my
see, like,
God.
8 cops trying to tackle Pegasus on the front
I
lawn.
know.
No, get off me. It's the wrong house. Thanks for that comment, Black Star. And on episode 158, our last episode, Pegasus' Secret, the boy who protects the dream world, we have another comment from Black Star Raven.
Okay.
Black Star says, a haiku. The alcohol won't work. Too sober to watch this show. Maybe just skip this one. Take your word on it that is an official haiku, but I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Don't, people, stick with it. We're sticking with it.
Yeah, I know.
We make each other strong.
We do.
We're remaining strong.
We're a support
together.
group.
We're going to get through this.
Yes.
And we're going to have to throw a party once this is over.
We are totally throwing a party.
On our next week's Shore Leave, we'll talk about the kind of future schedule, future plans for the show as we finally lock down the rest of Supers. But we stay strong together. We appreciate your comments. Thanks as always. And if you want to comment, answer the question, what'd you think about the episode? You can do that on Spotify on the web or Spotify on your app.
So, would you like to give us a breakdown of today's episode?
I have such sights to show you. I don't know why I'm thinking about that. That doesn't have anything to do with this. We open with a bit of a recap from what we learned last episode. So this is maybe the new, hey, I'm 14, this is a crybaby.
Yeah, right.
Instead, it's Pegasus. He's explaining once again that he comes from Elysian, a world of dreams, but that world was invaded and despoiled by the Dead Moon Circus. And he explains that the golden crystal must not fall into their hands, or Earth and Elysian will be destroyed. We go to the credits.
Yes.
Let's talk about where we are now. It's the Sakino household. It's nighttime. And in her room, Chibi-Usa is on the Pegasus phone, talking with Pegasus. She asks, this golden crystal, what kind of item is it? What powers does it have? And Pegasus says, and Chibi says, okay, you can't tell me. That's cool. But Pegasus says, sorry, when the time comes, I'll tell you everything. It's called sandbagging for a reveal. You know, screenwriting.
Yeah.
In the modern age.
Yeah.
Chibi puts her hand on the globe of the Pegasus phone and says, Pegasus, I'm really short like this. And speaking of short, here's a short translation rewind. Pegasus, I'm just a little girl, but if there's anything I can do, tell me. I want to help. And Pegasus just stares at her as we pan to the window. Where a bright light begins to shine through as the shutters fly open and the curtains begin to flap in the wind. Chibi finds herself floating through a feather-filled void, clad in her princess dress. And suddenly, she's standing in front of Pegasus in the dream world. She approaches him as shooting stars light up the sky, and she takes his head in her hands. And then they're soaring above Elysian as Baby Baby Love plays. Mm-hmm. They continue to soar, and now they're over Tokyo at night. And Pegasus soars up above the cotton candy clouds as a flock of birds sails by. As Chibi grips Pegasus's mane, she looks back to see that she, too, has a pair of bird-like wings, which she spreads and begins to take flight herself. And as she flies, looking at Pegasus, she thinks, can you read my mind? It's a real can you read my mind moment.
It is.
They must have been referencing Superman here. Come on, what is this? I can't be convinced otherwise.
Okay.
Here I am, a literal kid out of school. Riding with a winged felon. I'm a fool.
Oh my God.
She thinks, do you remember when we first met? See what I mean?
Yes.
She's asking him questions.
Can you read my mind?
You were in that dark forest and looking very lonely. When I first met you in that forest, I feel as though time has stopped, like I've been in a dream. We see a bright pillar of light in the sky, and down through it comes Pegasus and Chibi, as Chibi says, do you believe in fate? in destined meetings, why we're born, I think I figured them out as a result of meeting you. I'm 7. She once again, shouldn't say that. She once again hugs Pegasus's head, and we see her again in her PJs in her room. We see her hugging the Pegasus phone. And Pegasus once again says, when the time comes, I'll tell you the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Oh my God.
The defendant can lower his hoof. Chibi says, I believe in you, Pegasus.
If you need a friend, I'm the one to fly to.
The next day at Fruit Parlor Crown, Usagi is having a snack with Mamoru and the squad. And she says, you know, I heard a voice in Chibi-Usa's room again yesterday, and it sounded like a really serious conversation. She said that she was talking to Momo-chan, but Momo must have a cold or something. Mamoru says, you don't think it was Momo? And Usagi says, not unless she's smoking a pack a day. But the girls think it's something else. Something that they try to draw out for a weirdly long time. It's a boyfriend. That much is clear. They think she has a boyfriend, but they're being weirdly coy about it. And each of them has their own particular spin on this supposition. Their own little bit that they're going to stick to for the entire episode.
Yeah.
That's the commit to the bit.
That's true.
Unless it's a bad bit, then you ditch the bit. And I don't got a rhyme for that. Ditch the bitch, I guess.
Whoa.
Makoto thinks that it's an upperclassman, because of course she does. Ami is critical of the order in which they are trying to sort of explain this. Minako blows bubbles in her green soda and is weirdly suggestive about this situation.
Yeah.
And Ray spits out her tea when it's suggested that this is a boy that she's in love with, because she was thinking something totally different. I'll die on this hill.
Okay.
Lesbian Hill.
Oh my gosh.
Usagi is incredulous, but Ray says, yes, it's true. Chibi-Usa has a boyfriend. Yep, a friend that is a boy. Okay, all right. Ami says, but why would she hide that? And Mina blows bubbles once again before saying, your first love tends to be like that.
Which is, it's very weird.
You mean like when you have to fake your death in a grenade explosion? She has kind of a weird history with that. I don't know why she thinks that she can, but you know, she's the popped collar, cool girl.
Yeah, she is.
Mina F's.
Oh, God.
I mean, in this table full of virgins, she does.
Yeah.
Mako wonders what kind of upperclassman he is, and Ray spits out her tea again before asking how she knows it's an upperclass man. And Mina, through bubbles, says, older sisters like us need to give her the right kind of advice. I think that would be a terrible idea. Unless that advice is, call the cops.
Yeah, no kidding.
Everybody chuckles to themselves, having a great time. Bunch of virgins. Except for Ami, who dabs her brow daintily. Because she's a secret horn dog. Chibi's parents contemplate the conundrum, and Usagi asks, I wonder what kind of boy she fell for. Well, he's a boy who's into bondage, because we cut to that boy literally as we're back in the Mirror of Hall and the fettered and chained Helios, a.k.a. Pegasus Boy. Queen Nehelania is there, and she seems to be trying to reach out to Helios' imprisoned form in frustration. And I just noticed, we've already got a spider thing going on here, that she's kind of got Black Widow gauntlets on her wrists.
Oh, I hadn't noticed that
Like
before.
the Marvel Comics, the Widow's Bite.
Yeah, sure.
The yellow things. It's got to be a reference, right?
Probably.
And she's got a matching choker, too.
Yeah.
Of the same kind of material. She says, though the body of Helios has fallen into my hands, the golden crystal still escapes my reach. And the cage holding Helios retracts up. Hit the button. Zzz. As Nehelania says, are you there, Zirconia? And Zirconia says, literally, that's what she says. As the dark mirror slides out and the Catfish Wizard appears. He's a Catfish Wizard. Has to be a twist.
Oh my
Catfish Wizard is not who she says she is. You're really good at catfishing somebody.
Oh.
It's the Catfish Wizard. Sure has a mean profile.
Oh my God.
She appears and says, did you call my beautiful queen Nehelania? Now I'm getting something here.
Oh.
Well, I know, like, when you're, like, a sexy evil queen, like, all will love you in despair. But
Sure.
maybe this explains why this battered old hag who should definitely have retired to a evil cottage peacefully a long time ago is like still doing this. She's like, yes, miss. Right? Nehelania says, the time has come for us, the dead moon, to take over this planet. And we switch to the Hall of Mirror, as Zirconia says, Lady Nehelania is the one who will grasp the entire universe in her hands. And in the mirror, Nehelania says, then why haven't you obtained the golden crystal yet? And Zirconia is like, well, the check is in the mail. My dog ate it. There was a flood, a hurricane.
It wasn't my fault, I swear to God!
And Nehelania just looks back over her shoulder with this kind of blank but menacing look. She looks like a 40s femme fatale. She looks like Ava Gardner in The Killers.
Oh, sure.
And she says, I'm already tired of all this waiting. And Zirconia says, I'm scared. And horny.
Oh, my God.
And we match that scared to the death spa, where she stands in front of the Amazoness quartet and says, this lack of energy is too scary. Apparently the death spa is where they just live, too, because they're all asleep on their massage beds.
Seems like it.
Beds.
Now they're
sleep
just
beds.
regular beds. Yeah.
Pala Palas is loaded with stuffed animals, of course.
Of course.
And Ves laughs in her sleep and says, Zirconia, shriveled old up squid hag. Wait, is she a squid? I've had this wrong the whole time.
I think she looks way more like a catfish.
She's a catfish.
Yeah.
Is she supposed to be a squid?
I think that they're confused.
No, I can't change the song.
I don't think she's a squid.
Siri stirs in her bed and says, I don't want old squid. Pala says, Pala is scared. She's kawaii.
Yes.
And Junjun spasms in her bed and she says, when it's scary, it's best to run. And they're all in cute color-coordinated sleepwear.
Yeah.
This looks like 2000s era Victoria's Secret Junior.
Well, and
Is that Victoria's Secret Junior? That'd be a bad taste, probably.
I don't think it's
Victoria's Little Secret.
I don't think there's like a junior, but there's like
a lot of solid colors is what I'm saying.
There's like there's a brand that's like not as sexy underwear and stuff like that. It's like cotton underwear and like t-shirts and loungewear and that sort of thing. That's also in the same store with all the sexy
I don't know how old
lingerie.
let's see, these girls are 12. I don't want my 12-year-old in like boy briefs.
Pink, that's what it's called. It's called Pink.
Yeah, but Pink is like, that's all the Super Bowl models.
Yeah.
It's not like they have like younger models being like, it's a pillow fight. I'm doing my homework. Oh, I'm having fun, you know.
No, it's not. It's
like
not
a Sears commercial. I know too much about this. I want to move on real
okay.
fast. Right. Zirconia says, idiots! To think you'd sleep until noon when there's an emergency. Think about your positions. It became Uncle Scrooge all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Sleepily, June says, oh, it's the shriveled old squid. And smack, she's hit in the face with a photo. Got her. Zirconia says, check and see if that's the target. And hurry! Our lady is getting tired of waiting. In the Javan shopping district, Ray and Mako are buying crepes, and they give one to Chibi as they all sit on a bench. Mm-hmm. A little bit of girl chat.
That's right.
And Chibi says, what do you want to talk about? I already know all about the Colts and Foals.
Wow.
Some of these are just for you. The girls say, oh, we were just wondering how you're doing, Chibi-Usa. And Chibi's like, I saw you yesterday. You're weird. And Ray says, Chibi, don't you have anything you want to talk to us about? Such as, and Mako says, upperclassmen? And Ray yells at her, stop jumping to that conclusion. And straightwashing her.
Oh my God.
And Chibi's like, what? And Ray says, isn't there something on your mind? And Chibi says, no, but I feel like I can't do anything. You know, like I'm penned up, fettered, hitched to a dilemma.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Starts talking. She uses a lot of horse lingo.
Yeah.
You notice that your 7-year-old is using a lot of horse lingo. Look for the warning signs.
Oh my God.
Mako says, we'll tell you whatever you need to know, like how to make boxed lunches to show him how much you care. And Ray says, or how to write letters that are gentle yet passionate, like Colette. Chibi's like, do you use alfalfa on those lunches?
Oh my God.
Mako says, there's nothing wrong with being in love with an upperclassman. And Ray says, het normie, I swear to God. And Mako says, well, isn't that the case usually? Look, Mako, this is you assuming a lot about other people. And Ray agrees because she says, whose usual is that? There's some kind of subtext. I'm going to appropriate it as my own.
Okay.
And while this continues, Chibi's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm as confused as a hungry horse on AstroTurf.
Oh my God.
Starts kind of talking like him too sometimes, you know.
Oh no.
Meanwhile,
Don't do it,
32. It's too late. It's way too late, Mother. I have seen everything.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, at 32 flavors ice cream, Bob Floyd's got some competition.
That's right.
Manako and Ami are Bob Floyd doesn't. His workers aren't unionized. Manako and Ami are treating Chibi to a few scoops of advice.
Oh my God.
Mina says, "Eat as much as you want. It's on us." And Ami says, "You're like a younger sister to us." And Mina says, "Anything you want to tell us, you can." And Chibi, mid-lick, is like, "What are you trying to say?" And Mina says, well, that you're worried about a special someone? And Ami says, "Is there someone on your mind?" And Chibi says, "A person? Nay. Actually, I'm not really sure." And Mina says, "Not sure? You know, it's dangerous to two-time without getting experience first." And Ami says, I wonder, don't listen to her. "I wonder if we've met this person before." And Chibi says, "Yes, he's very pale. Cremello, you might say."
Oh my God.
Mina's like, "So he's white?" So that was kind of funny. They're Japanese people. But
Yeah.
I guess he's
Okay.
white. So what kind of face does he have? And Chibi's like, well, he has a long face. In another context, that's funny.
Yeah.
Mina's like, "Psst, Ami, this guy looks like a horse." And Ami says, "When you say it's horse-like, I can't say such foul language." And Mina's like, "You mean he has such foul manners that you can't say?" And Ami says, "That's not what I meant."
What?
Did they just do a dick joke? Allow me to translation rewind that to get the full effect. The new Viz sub available on YouTube has this exchange, as Mina saying, "Ami, does she mean long like a horse?" And Ami says, "Long like a horse? Wait, Manako, you mean secret horn door?"
Oh my God.
Mina says, "What?" And Ami says, "It's so vulgar I can't say it." And Mina says, "Is he so vulgar that you can't say it?" And Ami says, No, I mean something different." And this whole time, Chibi's like, "Yeah, he's got a big dick." What?
Oh my, stop it.
That's what they're doing.
I didn't
We're
realize
gonna talk about
that.
it. Yeah, I know you didn't realize it. We're gonna talk about it. We cut to a fancy restaurant with a chandelier. Woo! Where Chibi is having dinner with Mamoru, and Chibi says, "Whoa, this place looks spendy."
Oh my God, no.
And Mamoru says, "Young lady, order whatever you want." And Chibi's like, "Bale of hay, please. I'm having a date with Mamo-chan at a nice restaurant. I'm so lucky." Hee. Over at another table, we see the girls watching this interaction. And everybody's got to get a line. The agents all called in this week.
Yep.
Mako says, "I'm sure she'll tell Mamoru." And Ray says, "But he has to be careful. A woman's heart is complex. And so is another woman's."
Oh my God.
And Mina says, "Especially when she's two-timing." Usagi says, "God damn her. I haven't been to a place this nice with Mamo." And Ami says, "I hear he has a big this place is very expensive." The waiter arrives and he asks if they're ready to order, and all five of them say, "Ice water, please." And Ami says, "I'll have apple juice." You have to tell me if that's some kind of joke.
I think she just felt guilty.
She's going to order
that
something.
She's going to order
Okay,
something.
okay,
Yeah.
She says, "I'll have apple juice." Usagi says, "I can't hear them. We have to get closer." And Ami says, "Just apple juice for me." We cut back to Chibi's table, and Mamoru is in a tux, I should mention. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, right.
This is a fancy place.
It is a fancy place.
And he says, I wonder how much longer you'll go on dates with me, Chibi-Usa. And Chibi says, jealous? No. She says, my darling will always be you, Mamo-chan. Mamoru says, okay, but if there's ever someone you want to introduce to me, you can. And Chibi says, there is someone, but... And he says, is it your boyfriend? And Chibi says, it's more complicated than that. And as they talk, we see a statue and a vase of flowers and a piano and a painting all move by themselves up to their table.
Uh-huh.
And Chibi says, I feel like somebody's listening on us. And back at the girls' table, all alone, Ami says, just apple juice, thanks. Later in the park, Chibi is glaring at a pond as the squad hangs back. And Mako says, I think she's getting mad. And Usagi says, maybe we did something pathetic here. While Chibi thinks to herself, sheesh, all you prying into someone's secrets. Across the pond, a person we've never met is feeding the koi. And Mina says, oh my God, look, Chibi's staring at that guy. And we see a shot of the guy, and oh my God!
It's terrifying.
He's pale, and he has a long face.
Yes.
He looks like an Eon Flux character.
Yeah.
Usagi says, he's Chibi-Usa's romantic interest? And then a voice says, koi! I don't know whose voice it is.
Yeah.
And a fish jumps out of the water.
Yeah.
And we get a freeze frame between our two putative lovers.
In the Viz version, Chibi-Usa said that he had a white coat.
Oh.
So when they see him, he has a white coat and a long face.
Ah.
So
I mean, the character is pale, I suppose.
He is also really pale.
Yeah, but a white coat. That's funny because that doubles the danger, but it also still works, you know?
Yes.
If she's like, oh, he's kind of horny. Like, she could never say that.
No.
But I mean, like, and then they say, oh, well, I don't know. Why is he horny? Never mind.
This is why I don't. Horn?
Right, but why would he have a horn?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, he's got a horn book with him. This is why I don't write anime. And oh, thank God, Junjun's here to kill these people. And she says, looks like I found the target. Or it's Eric Stoltz's stunt double. He was in Mask.
Oh, okay.
In that movie Mask. His long face. She jumps down on the bridge, and the long face guy says, can I help you? And June says, oh, I guess. I just want to look at your dream. Colliding ball. She shoots her shot. The ball bounces between the pylons and off a fish and knocks the guy's dream mirror out. But sorry, Charlie. It's not a golden mirror.
As soon as I get my strength back, I'm going to get out of this bed and help him.
June says, what is it with Zirconia? She bosses us around. She gives us these lousy leads. I want the Glengarry leads.
Glengarry, the premium leads?
We hear, hold it right there. And the Sailor Senshi appear, perched on top of the railing. And oh my God, I'll just go one by one here. Sailor Moon says, pest getting in the way of a lonely girl's romance. And Mars says, pest getting in the way of someone's first love. Homophobe. Jupiter says, pest getting in the way of a romance with an upperclassman. Venus says, pest getting in the way of two-timing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mercury says, pest getting in the way of learning the ways of romance.
Oh my God.
And this whole time, Chibi's getting more and more confused. And finally she's like, what romance are we talking about?
I don't know what we're yelling about!
She says, it looks like everybody's confused, but in any case, in the name of the moon, we'll punish you. June says, you guys are a little rowdier than usual, but come out, my lemur, dream-eating carp, Mr. Paku Paku. And out of her shadow comes a giant red koi fish. But hold on, it's got the head, arms, and legs of a man embedded in its back.
Yeah, don't worry.
June says,
it's creepy.
Okay, you take care of this, and you eat that mirror. And she balls out. Get some of those leads. Mr. Paku Paku leaps up and swallows the mirror in one gulp and dives into the pond and goes under. And the girls are looking desperately to find him, but he leaps again out of the water and lands on the bridge that they're standing on, snapping it in half and kind of tilting it up and crushing it as the Senshi hold on for their lives. And Chibi slides down the planks towards Paku's gaping mouth. She's going to get Quinted.
Quinted?
It's like Jaws.
Oh, yes.
Also, I want to point out that apparently Mr. Paku Paku can control fish like Aquaman because he's surrounded by all the koi who are in the pond who are just gawping at Chibi and the Senshi, and they're screaming, koi, koi, koi. So he can control fish and make them talk.
There you go.
He can talk to fish. So tell me that's not a reference. Got a Marvel and a DC reference in this. It's some kind of whirlpool's going to form here.
Oh my God.
That's not canon. Chibi continues her downward slide. She's almost in the beast's mouth when a red rose pins the fish's lips to the deck. Tuxedo Mask has arrived, and he's standing right on top of the highest pylon on the bridge.
That's right.
Not helping anybody. He says, if there's a maiden feeling the pain of romance, I will appear. What?
I don't know.
Is this your mandate now? You're going to show up a lot on this show. He says, now, Sailors Moon and Chibi. Chibi raises her carillon, and with a twinkle yell, she summons Pegasus. Pegasus says, is someone talking about me? My ears are twitching. That's just a horse joke. See ya. Sailor Moon gives us the MGM, and the fishy menace stages out for the last time. The threat ended. The squad watches as the long-faced man continues to feed the fish, because, you know, what really happened here? Ray says,
He's supposed to move on with his life.
Right.
Exactly.
That was a weird 5 minutes, but you gotta feed these fish.
Yeah.
Ray says, I'm glad for you, Chibi. Now no one will get in the way of your romance with a man. And Mamoru says, whoa, he's the guy you're interested in? But isn't he a little old for you? And Usagi says, oh, Mamo, there's an age difference with us, too. Yes! Yes, there is! Yes! Congratulations on the down payment on your glass house!
Oh my God.
Too bad it's across the street from the quarry.
Oh my God.
Mamoru, rallying, says, but this is way different than the difference between us. 1/2 + 7.
Oh my God. Stop.
And Chibi's like, what the shit are you talking about? Mako still says it's one of her upperclassmen. Mako could have been replaced by a digital recorder that when you push play says, it's one of her upperclassmen.
No, you're right. Unfortunately.
In this episode. And Mina says, she's two-timing. Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Ami blushes and says, it might be bad for her first romance to be such a shocking one. Everyone starts arguing and Chibi says, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. You're all confused. The guy I'm interested in is... And they're like, is? And she says, a secret. And everybody falls down, anime style.
Yep.
And Chibi looks to the heavens and thinks, Pegasus, someday I can introduce you to everyone, right? At the trial?
Oh my God.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all I got. He's got a long face. What's with the long face?
Yeah.
A joke I made the first episode that we covered Supers.
Yeah, I know.
My thing is, isn't this quote unquote fun? What we're doing?
Yeah.
We could have been doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
Every single character, in addition to getting a new power, could have also ran their theory past Chibi about what they think is going on.
Yeah.
Instead, you waited over 30 episodes to get to here, and then you had to pack every single person's suspicions, suggestions, reactions into one episode that is
true.
just 6 people having conversations with themselves while other people are present.
Yeah.
It all has the feeling of good, quote unquote, comedy. You know, we're talking at cross purposes. I'm misunderstanding you. You know, how much does he get? Every $1. You know, we're kind of doing the whole thing.
Spit takes, you know.
Yeah, spit takes or like dribble takes.
Yeah.
But it all has to be jammed into an episode that literally the villain just goes, I'm here. All right, get him. Oh, dead, done, gone. Like, that's not important. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, why did you save it all for this? And then when it finally shows up, it's why the long face? And also, why the long... It's a lot easier when this show makes dick jokes for me.
Yeah.
Come on! You watch the Viz dub.
Yeah.
And she says, you mean his D dash? She didn't have to say that.
I did
She
not
could have just said,
that at all.
you mean, ... or whatever.
Uh-huh.
That's what they're doing.
I did not catch that at all.
They're like, what's he like? Oh, he's like a horse. It's like a horse?
Oh my god.
Horseshoe size 15?
Wow.
That's what's happening, right?
I think you're right,
Audience,
but
audience, back me up on this.
I think you're right. I just didn't notice it. It didn't occur to me at all while I was watching it.
Well, it's a good thing I'm here.
Yeah, it is.
Let's continue talking about how weird it is. We talked last week about how, there's this whole thing, and it's like, well, I guess it's kind of cute that a girl likes a horse or something. And it's like, nope, it really has been like a teenage boy has been like watching this little girl this whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, that's shot yourself in the foot there.
Yeah.
Or wait, what's the horse thing? You broke your leg there, and now you have to shoot yourself.
What?
You took too much laxative there. And then what do they give the horses?
I don't know. Tranquilizer?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Horse tranquilizers?
Yeah.
No, not horse tranquilizers.
And then in this episode, it's like everyone should be horrified that she's not talking about the rowdy kid from the daycare center that they helped destroy. Do you know what I mean? Or Kayusuke.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
When they go to the park and they see this accident victim and I'm just as God made me. And he's clearly like, he's got a tracksuit on.
Yeah.
He's clearly like in his 30s.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, isn't it sweet? Like what?
How could they even possibly think for a second that that's sweet?
And there isn't, this isn't even shoujo. Do you know what I mean? Like this is for children. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they think. Nobody in this show has the emotional complexity in this season for it to really mean anything.
Uh-huh.
We're just doing the joke.
Yeah.
So like Three's Company?
Yeah.
Three's Company is a show where a guy pretends that he's gay so he can live with two women. And he's not like dating the women. He just needs like a place to live.
stay.
It's cheap rent. And then, Mr. Roper is going to try to figure him out. He doesn't think he's gay. And that's like that's the entire premise to start. Now, every episode is going to have some other premise that has to be even more ridiculous than that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, invent your scenario here, something that would never happen in a million years, but we've got to get Mr. Roper to believe it so we can get out of the situation. And Mr. Roper, more than not believing it, or with the possibility of believing it, could never believe whatever it is. Like he sees Jack with a fishbowl on his head and he's like, oh, I'm training for NASA or whatever. And it's like, how could that even be possible? We don't even live in Florida. Do you know what I mean? Like what are you talking about?
Right.
But he accepts it because it's only 20 minutes of kind of body comedy.
Yeah. Right.
That's kind of what we've got here.
Yeah.
But even within the confines of that, everyone's reaction to this, let's say, not conventionally attractive adult man should have been, oh, Chibi-Usa, forget the things that I said.
Yeah.
Enjoy being a 7-year-old.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? We all went a little far. That should have been the resolution to this.
Uh-huh.
That we all realize that we are applying this like tiger beat, horned up hormone thing that we do to each other to this girl who hangs out with us, but is just a little girl. She's somebody's
far
little
younger than
sister.
us. Yeah, right.
That should have been, and then it's okay. So when there's a weird beat, you go, we're all weirded out by this. The audience identifies with us, and now we're all on the same page, and we all get some ice cream at Bob Floyd's.
Yeah.
Because I hear that the vote for the union passed. And then we're out to credits.
Yeah.
Instead of everybody being like, oh, okay, so how do you want to play this, Chibi? Like, we're going to go, if the episode didn't end, it would just continue?
I don't know.
Do you know what I
It's a
mean?
good point.
It's weird. The
It is
values
weird.
of this entire season are very strange. It's one thing to go, Memorio's 16, she's 14 or whatever. I don't know how they do it there. I guess that's okay.
Uh-huh.
And it's interesting that in this episode, almost to help sell the weirdness of the suggestion, possibility of Chibi being interested in or dating an adult, they throw as a sacrifice out, well, you know, Mamoru, you're kind of older than me. Something the show never talks about at all.
I know.
And doesn't, from what I've been told, doesn't need to. I have been given to understand that is fine. So I'm willing to accept it. And they bang in the manga. And so, but it's almost like they're like, oh, I feel self-conscious but we've got to make this bit work. And so he did it. And they throw the Usagi Mamoru relationship on the pyre to keep this fire going.
Which is like, why do that?
Let the fire die already.
Yeah.
I started this out. We're going to have a beautiful dream. It's become a nightmare. Jesus wept. Take me, Pinhead.
All of you relax. This is a matter of inconvenient timing, that's all. Rebooting the podcast was inevitable. This is simply the beginning. I thought I told all of you I want broadcast silence until further...
Ooh, I'm very sorry, Cal. I didn't get that message. Maybe you should have put it on Twitter. I figured since you were relaunching the Just Enough Trope podcast, you might be a little lonely, so I decided to be your co-host.
That's very kind of you. I assume you're our mysterious podcaster. You're most troublesome for a Sailor Moon fan?
Sorry, Cal. Wrong guess. Would you like to go for an all-new show where the hosts haven't really changed?
Who are you, then?
Just a fly in the ointment, Cal. The dye in the hard. The moon and the lighting.
She's talking about the rebooted Just Enough Trope, where we'll dive deep into the pop culture elements that make up your favorite movies, TV shows, comics, and video games. See if she's lying about moonlighting and find out if Bruno has returned.
No, respect yourself.
Miss Mystery Guest, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Unless you want to sing a duet with me.
No, I'm afraid not. But you have me at a loss. You know my name, but who are you? Just another podcast host who saw too many movies as a child? Another orphan of a bankrupt culture who thinks she's John McClane, Corbin Dallas, a crooning Alcapop pitchman?
I was always kind of partial to Seagram's Golden Wine Cooler, actually. It's wet and it's dry.
Do you really think you have a chance with this new show, Ms. Co-host?
Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Cooler.
Just Enough Trope, 40 stories of sheer pop culture deconstruction. Available everywhere you listen to your favorite shows.
Do I sound like I'm ordering a podcast?
Today for Kyoro Kyoro Miru, or Curiously Looking Around, where we talk about elements of Japanese culture within the episode, we're going to be talking about koi.
But really, what are we talking about?
Really, we're talking about koi.
No, but what are we talking about?
Well, you're being coy about koi. So in Japanese, koi is a homophone for koi, another word that means affection or love. So koi are symbols of love and friendship in Japan.
I koi you?
Well, it says, they're symbols of love and friendship, so it can be friendship or romantic love, I think. It can be either.
Right, but if I, tell my beloved that I like them, they're not going to be as happy as if I
No, aishiteru means I love you. So, yeah.
I koi you.
Yeah.
With all my heart and coal.
Oh my gosh. We also saw and heard this play on words in today's episode. This is the reason why so many koi were...
happy fun time romance.
Yeah, were mentioned, so...
But so the fish are screaming love, love, love?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the Beatles.
Yeah. I guess so.
All you need is koi.
All you need is koi.
Koi is all you need.
That's right. Koi, or more specifically nishiki goi, literally brocaded carp, are colored varieties of the common carp, Cyprinius carpio, that are kept for decorative purposes in outdoor koi ponds or water gardens. Though carp domestication is believed to have begun in China as far back as the 4th century, modern Japanese koi are believed to date back to early 19th century Japan, where wild, colorful carp were caught, kept, and bred by rice farmers.
Let me get this straight. Wild, colorful carp were caught and kept.
Yeah.
Okay.
by rice farmers.
If they're crazy, if they're wild, can they be crazy? What about crazy colorful carp or caught and kept?
Yeah, that's even better.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you topped it. Carp are a large group of fish originally found in Central Europe and Asia. Various carp species were originally domesticated in China, where they were used as food originally. Carp are cold water fish, and their ability to survive and adapt to many climates and water conditions allowed the domesticated species to be propagated and to many new locations, including Japan. In Japan, Miocene fossils of the carp family have been excavated from Iki Island and Nagasaki Prefecture. In addition, numerous carp pharyngeal teeth have been excavated from Jomon and Yayoi period sites. So we're not really clear exactly when carp were brought over to Japan. And
Long time ago.
Yeah, some of them, they might have been native.
Sounds like.
Yeah. It was previously thought that all Japanese carp were introduced from China in prehistoric times. However, recent analysis of mitochondrial DNA has revealed that there are two types of wild carp in Japan, native carp and Amur carp from Eurasia.
When the moon hits your carp and you're wearing a tarp. That's interesting. So there's boy, I mean, this is true of everywhere, I guess, but Japan just can't get enough of, some things live here and then some things come from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And go, we live here now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a tale as old as time.
It is. But it is unclear when the Amur carp was introduced to Japan. This is because the oldest record of the introduction of non-native fish in Japan is that of goldfish from China, which was either, I don't know why such a long gap, it was either 1502 or 1602 when goldfish came over.
A dating discrepancy, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so they know, here's some goldfish. They know when those came over.
They know when they came over.
But carp, different.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there are no records of carp, including colored carp, until the introduction of the mirror carp called Deutzugoi, or German carp, in 1904.
Oh, okay. Huh.
In the Japanese history book Nihon Shoki Chronicles of Japan 720,
Sure.
Hearing about this a lot lately, it is written that Emperor Keiko released carp in a pond for viewing when he visited Mino Province, present
Check this
Gifu
out.
Prefecture.
Check this out. Opens his robe, pulls a Ziploc bag out. Watch this.
Water in
Splash.
it. Yeah, there you go.
That's it.
This was during the 4th year of his reign. That's so funny. The image. Do you know how many of those goldfish at the school
You killed?
Yeah. I was so proud about winning them.
Yes.
Actually, I have a funny story. I won 2 and I was so excited, and we had a little fishbowl for them, and then we wanted to get a tank, and nobody told us beforehand that we had to oxidate the water.
Yeah.
So we put the fish in the tank with the not oxidating the water first.
Right.
And the next morning they were dead.
Yeah.
I
didn't
was
see the fish
very sad.
putting their fins across their throat and going,
Yeah, exactly. So my parents took me to
They
the
don't
pet
have that
store.
long of a lifespan anyway. I mean,
I
hopefully
know.
you made them happy in the short time that they had.
I know. My parents felt so bad they took me to the pet store and I got 2 new goldfish.
Yes. When you walked in, a chill ran across all the tanks. Where they knew the fish reaper was here.
The people there knew what went wrong, and they told us.
There's your problem.
Here's your problem.
The fish are turning blue.
Yeah, exactly. In 1914, when the Tokyo Taisho Exposition was held, the Koi Exhibit Association was formed mainly by koi breeders in Higashiyama and Takizawa villages, and koi were exhibited. At the time, they were called colored carp or pattern carp, and they were described as the, quote, first of their kind ever to be seen in the Tokyo area. and the koi received much attention, winning a silver medal. After the expedition closed, they presented 8 koi to the crown prince, Emperor Showa. So that was a gift to the emperor. This exhibition triggered an expansion of sales channels and market value of koi soared.
So people think of koi in Japan as being, it's this traditional sort of thing. But if it's just like the Showa era that they got popular in, like that was the 20th century.
Well, it got popular in the
like a
1800s.
Right.
So Showa goes back to I thought the 50s, or does it go back even further than that?
If it's not the 1850s, that's what I'm talking about.
No.
It's the 20th century.
Yeah.
Because you think about the koi. I just think about some guy in a bathrobe, on a bridge with a crook in the middle of it, and then there's trees, and then it's right. But you're saying that at this World's Fair thing,
that was 1914. You're right.
Suddenly everybody's like, oh boy, I'm gonna get some of this koi. Oh, that's 100 years ago.
No, you're right. You're right. Absolutely right.
It might be that. I mean, you were talking about the Emperor Wikiwachi, whatever his name was, way back in the triple digits, was check this out. So it's maybe the royalty had them, but now a Chinese restaurant has them in the foyer.
Oh, yeah, right,
Okay,
right. Oh my gosh. Koi is an informal name for the colored variants of sea carpio kept for ornamental purposes. Several varieties are recognized by the Japanese, distinguished by coloration, patterning, and scalation. Some of the major colors are white, black, red, orange, yellow, blue, brown, cream, besides metallic shades like gold and silver white, platinum scales.
Ew.
They're fancy.
I think those have lightning and fire breath weapons.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think that sounds about right. The systemic breeding of ornamental amur carp began in the 1820s in the area known as Niju Murago, literally 20 villages, which spans Ojiya, Yamakoshi in Niigata Prefecture, located on the northern coast of Honshu, in Japan, obviously. In Niigata Prefecture, amur carp were farmed for food in Musubu Shinden, Kanabara County, present Akiba Ward, Niigata City, from the end of the Gena era, so 1615 to 1624. In the mountainous southern end of Niigata Prefecture is the small city of Ojiya, the birthplace of and koi capital. Breeding began as a hobby during the long winter months. The application of breeding these living works of art goes back to the Meiji era of 1868 to 1912. Breeding continued to evolve into a source of secondary income until maturing into a massive industry where a single koi fish sold by these breeders can soar well above $10,000 for a single fish.
Whoa.
It's expensive.
So speaking of Ziploc bags, there's got to be a situation where somebody's like, put it in your coat, put it in your
purse, put it in your purse.
Right.
Yeah.
Then now we got the fish.
The fish is ours. With up to 80 to 90% of these premium fish bound for overseas collectors, the city is a center for koi buyers, with many of the farms offering special tours for guests. In 2017, the most expensive koi ever was bought for 200 million yen. That's 1.8 million US dollars.
Wow.
But not all koi are that costly, and some economical nishikigoi can be priced as low as 500 yen. They're probably smaller fish, though, too.
Yeah.
Koi, they can grow up to be, they can grow to be up to 3 feet long, too.
Oh, yeah. 3 feet is, it doesn't sound like a lot.
But it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
There are 2 types of kohaku. One is white, and this is a type of koi. One is white and has a red pattern all over it and is the most common. The second type, kohaku, only has one red spot at the middle of its forehead, and this is an extra special type called Tancho kohaku, and it is highly prized specimen because of its rarity and symbolism.
Huh.
The red spot on the forehead makes the Tancho kohaku look like a Japanese flag, which represents the red sun in the middle of a pure white field.
You eat these things?
Not so. Okay, I want
Because
to.
if there was a fish that had an American flag body, I feel like we wouldn't want to eat it.
I want to emphasize we don't really necessarily eat koi on a regular anymore.
If we're out of crops, we do.
Yeah, but
Oh, fish again.
but they're largely decorative these days. So I mean, you can eat them if you wanted to, probably. But
What's their flesh like?
I have no idea.
They eat like garbage.
They eat everything.
They eat literally. Yeah, it doesn't sound like they'd be too good.
Yeah,
They're like catfish.
They literally eat everything,
Fry
and
'em up.
like you can like feed them fruit and stuff like that too. Like anything that they like.
They'll peel a banana. Oh, they'll just go right into town on that.
They like I was
They're
reading
popping
somewhere.
the seeds out of a pomegranate. They're like, this is delicious. Thank you.
I was reading somewhere that they like to give them food that floats, so that makes them come up to the top,
Right.
so that the people who are taking care of them can check on them and make sure that they're doing okay, because otherwise they're largely bottom feeders.
Yeah, and they're not, I assume they're not too smart, being fish. But when you go to like, a conservatory or something like that, and there's koi and there's machines for food, the second you walk near the water, a bunch of fish will swarm up because they're like, we know what happens now.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun feeding them, though.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, come on. Oh, the big one's coming. Give it to the small one. Give it to the small one.
Yeah, make sure this one over here gets it. Oh, they got it.
Yeah.
It's entertaining.
Yeah. The weak will perish. More food, please.
New koi varieties are still being actively developed. Ghost koi, developed in the 1980s, have become very popular in the United Kingdom. They are a hybrid of wild carp and ogong koi and are distinguished by their metallic scales. Butterfly koi, also known as longfin koi or dragon carp, also developed in the 1980s, are notable for their long and flowing fins. They are hybrids of koi with Asian carp. But butterfly koi and ghost koi are considered by some to not be true nishiki koi. Like, they're not really the real thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're
knockoff koi.
Yeah.
Forget that. This is a generic
Yeah, exactly.
generic brand koi. You can always tell.
You always can. Koi have been reported to achieve ages of 100 to 200 years old.
Sorry.
Yep.
I misheard you there.
Yep.
I heard that a koi lived to be 200 years old.
Yeah. One famous scarlet koi named Hanako was owned by several individuals. And in July of
It outlived them.
I know. In July of 1974, a study of the growth and of the rings of one of the koi's scales reported that Hanako was 226 years old. Some sources give an accepted age for the species a little more than 50 years old. So on average, they live around like 50 years or so.
Oh.
But some of them live a lot longer.
Bottom feeding gets you a long way.
Well, and it's all how well you take care of them and everything too.
I don't see
And,
koi
like,
jogging.
No. And I mean, it's like they're not sick and that sort of thing too.
Yeah, they must be really resistant to... Because when you live
They're
that
pretty
long,
hardy.
it isn't... Sure, part of it is... Well, yeah, but part of it is like, oh, I don't know, their genetics are just such that they are simple creatures, I guess. But they must not get cancers. They must be resistant to some... Because it's average, right?
Yeah.
Sure, the 226 years, I'll believe it when you, I don't know, show me the last 10 owners and the deeds of sale. But that's anecdotal, right? But if you're talking about just a creature that's not a parrot...
Right.
Who also, by the way, I don't know if parents have to go to the vet a lot, but they live a long time.
They do.
If it lives 50 years on average,
Uh-huh.
that's a long ass time.
It is a long time. So, yeah.
And then imagine the meal when, no, I don't know.
Oh my God.
You just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
In Japan, the koi are a symbol of luck, prosperity, and good fortune, and also of perseverance in the face of adversity. Ornamental koi are symbolic of Japanese culture and are closely associated with the country's national identity. The custom of koinobori, or carp streamers, which began in the Edo period, is still practiced today and displayed in gardens on Children's Day. So, have we talked about this before?
Children's Day?
Yeah. And the carp flags.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I won't get into it right now. But there's a different one for each member of the family. It used to be Boys' Day, but then they changed it to Children's Day.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
You
I'm
know,
not kidding.
Sometimes progress means looking backwards and going,
Yeah, exactly. Koi are closely related to Japanese culture, and this means that they are also strongly connected to Japanese shrines. There is even a shrine that enshrines carp, the Kurihashi Yasaka Shrine in Kooky City, Saitama Prefecture. In what, Kooky? Yeah.
I was down in Kooky City. You wouldn't believe it.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
In front of the Torii Gate, there are typically stone statues of lion-like legendary creature called komainu as the messengers of the gods. You've seen them a lot of times in entrances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
However, the Kurihashi Yasaka Shrine, the god's messenger in front of their shrine is a carp. So this is very rare in Japan for there to be a different animal as the god's messenger. So, yeah.
Send a little message there.
I get
Run on down to the store. Give me some stuff.
This is for friendship and love. There's a Chinese legend about the koi that says that they are so powerful they can swim upstream and even to the top of a waterfall. After mastering this challenge, koi fish that reach the top of the waterfall will turn into a powerful dragon.
They just keep swimming up into the air.
Yeah, exactly.
Then they're a dragon.
And in Pokemon, there of course is Magikarp, who looks kind of dopey. But at level 20, he evolves to Gyarados, who is a dragon.
Wow.
So there you go.
There you go. I feel like, ladies, you ever go into a comic store? You know where I'm going with this?
I don't. And
look, our audiences, they're a bunch of nerds. But I'm just saying, like, you know, you ever feel like, I'm going to fail this quiz, you know? It's probably how every girlfriend that I've ever had has felt at one time or another when they went into a comic shop with me. Not that women don't love comics and don't know more than me sometimes. But every time millennials talk about Pokemon, that's how I feel. They're like, yeah, but the Charizard is a lot different than Mr. Goobly Gobbly or whatever. And I'm like, nobody ask me any questions. I don't know. This is all nonsense. I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you think it's time to learn more about Pokemon?
No, I'm hoping that I die before and I escape through death before I have to answer any questions about Pokemon.
Okay.
I was out to dinner with some people the other night that were, you know, like not a lot younger than me, but somewhat younger than me. And they're like, yeah, but like really silver is where it started to fall apart. I don't know if that's a thing.
I don't
Pokemon
know.
Pokemon Silver. Don't even get me started on Diamonds and Pearls, the Prince Edition. And I'm like, I don't know what. Eat, just keep eating.
Delicious.
And they go around the circle. Who's your favorite Pokemon? Who's your favorite Pokemon? I'm like, oh boy, I don't know. What am I going to say? Snorlax.
There you go.
Is that one?
That is one.
Oh, thank God. I don't know anything about him. I think he
sleeps
sleeps.
all the
He sleeps.
time.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good.
It's in the name.
I'm ready. They ask, what's your favorite Snorlax evolution? It's like,
Oh God, no.
check please.
I like the original.
Yeah. I just don't evolve them.
Yeah.
It's super effective. I think.
I think they have the original charm.
Yeah.
Itadakimasu with Usagi. What did Usagi eat in this episode? There's so much food in this episode. The girls are at Fruits Parlor Crown and they are drinking a variety of drinks, coffee, tea, melon soda, orange soda. Minako is blowing bubbles in her soda. The Amazon Nesses in their sleep say that zirconia looks like dried squid and that they don't like dried squid and that dried squid is scary. And Junjun calls zirconia scary dried squid grandma. So there you go. Ray and Mako treat Chibiusa to crepes to try to get her to open up about being in love. Mako offers to help Chibiusa make a delicious bento box that conveys Chibiusa's feelings. Later the same day, Minako and Ami treat Chibiusa to some ice cream at 32 Ice Cream. Most likely a reference to Baskin-Robbins, which has 31 flavors.
Yes, the Japanese have unlocked the secret extra flavor.
I know, right?
Umami. I'll take 2 scoops of umami.
That sounds good, actually. The girls have 2 scoops on a cone. Minako tells Chibiusa that she can have as much as she wants. And then Mamoru takes Chibiusa out to a fancy restaurant and tells her that she can get whatever she wants. We pan over to the Senshi who are there too, several tables away. The girls all order water and the waiter is flabbergasted, and then Ami orders some apple juice.
Right. Which I was thinking about apples and Ringo.
Oh, yeah.
There was a Ringo brand apple juice, or at least he hawked it. He sold it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
I think it was in the mid-90s, so it might... I've never seen any Beatles references that I know, except for the joke that I made before, about in Sailor Moon. But around 1995, he was the spokesperson for such and such an apple juice brand.
Huh. Interesting.
I just like to drink juice.
I didn't know it meant apple in Japanese.
Well, look at that.
In my name.
Those are some bad Ringos. Just takes one bad Ringo to spoil the bunch.
I've got a question for you. I don't know if you thought this at all. So Chibiusa is wearing this cute little yellow dress with like black squiggly lines on it.
Charlie Brown?
Yes. Because I swear at one point she says good grief.
Sheesh.
And yeah.
That's Japanese good grief.
Yeah.
I guess I would expect, Ray to ask her if it's a little red-haired girl. I don't know. Probably just a visual thing.
Okay, maybe it's just visual.
You're the one that keeps track on the fashion. Are these all new looks for the girls?
I think pretty much all are new looks for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Usagi's dressed like a librarian and from the 1800s. And what's going on?
I don't know.
What is up?
I don't know.
That's not even for the mid 90s. That's what?
It's a weird outfit.
I don't know what she's trying to prove.
I don't know either.
We get it, Usagi. You're traditional. You're very trad.
Oh my God.
Your little lace blouse.
Do you think she would like being called trad?
Yes.
Probably.
If that had been invented in 1995, absolutely.
Yeah, I bet she would like that, I guess. Oh well. Villain gauge, we rate a baddie 1 to 5 dark stars, 5 being the most wicked. The lemur in this episode is Paku Paku Dude, the dream eating carp.
Paku Paku Dude?
Yeah, well, he has like the suffix.
Oh, okay.
That could be like it's like what is it? Is it like it means dude, but it can have like many different connotations.
So it's
to
an
it,
informal guy.
Yeah,
because it was just Mr. in my subtitles.
Okay,
but Mr. Paku Paku.
Okay,
they call me Mr. Paku Paku.
Yeah.
What about Tibbs?
Tibbs? This is more informal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just a fish dude.
He's a dude.
He's a fish dude.
That's right. Paku paku is the sound of someone or something repeatedly opening and closing its mouth.
Oh,
like a fish.
sure.
Fun fact, Pac-Man's name comes from the phrase paku paku taberu.
Sure.
Which is the paku paku is the onomatopoeia and then the verb for eating, taberu.
He eats little bits too.
Yeah, he does.
Little breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Well, how come he's not orange?
I don't know.
One of the ghosts is orange.
Yeah.
I think it's Clyde. Let's not do that again.
Sounds
Let's not
about
do that
right,
again.
but I don't.
We're not
Yeah, I
doing that
don't.
again.
Okay, all right.
How come the fish then don't go paku 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 paku?
Because they wanted him to say koi.
Yeah, I guess. Why
Um,
are the fish speaking?
I don't know.
Why are they speaking?
I don't know.
What's happening to me?
So the design, he is basically a giant carp or koi with a humanoid head, arms, and legs. And the fish part is gigantic, and he is mostly red.
Is he a man wearing a fish costume? That's what I need to know. But then,
don't
because
think
of
so.
the way these guys work, it's also alive. So it's like something else where, like, the lady had the bird dress, and she was a lady, but also parts of her were a living bird creature. It's kind of like that because he's got like a snorkel and stuff, doesn't he? He's got like goggles. He's
It
like
does
ready.
look
He's
like
swimming.
He has the snorkel, yeah.
So like I could see some very energetic. This could be like a guy in a parade or something like that. Like it's koi day. It's
Oh my
children.
God.
It's boy day.
Yeah.
This is in the 1950s, and his costume is that, like, you know, he's got to wear it. He's a human being.
Yeah.
But it hangs off of the front of him, and then there's like the fish thing. So I could see this being a practical thing. Only in this world, he is literally a fishtaur.
Yeah, right.
And I don't mean like the Dustin Hoffman movie. I mean like a centaur that is a fish, part man, part fish.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. The brother that Aquaman doesn't talk about.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's what it is. This fish part is gigantic and is mostly red. He has yellow and blue fish eyes. On his side, he is alternating yellow and black spades. Sui is the onomatopoeia that means water.
Yeah.
So the fin on the top of his head looks like a mohawk, I thought.
Okay.
And now we got Areta's rating. I think the design is kind of terrifying. He goes underwater, so the girls have no idea where he is, and then he surprises them when he jumps out. Using the force of his own body weight, he breaks apart the dock where the Senshi were standing. All the small koi have joined Paku Paku in the chanting koi, koi, koi. He almost gets Chibi-Usa too because she slides down the dock, and Tuxedo Mask saves the day by closing Paku Paku's mouth with a rose. I'm gonna give him 4 out of 5 dark stars. I was gonna give him a 3. I'm feeling generous. So I feel like he was fairly effective. And he was definitely terrorizing them pretty well. He almost got Chibi-Usa.
Yeah, gravity helped.
Yeah.
I gotta give him a 3 out of 5 dark stars.
Okay.
And that is all his particular charm or idiom or whatever the hell's going on. Because once again, and look, if one day they decided to make an episode where they were talking about stuff, Chibi almost gets hit by a car. And
Wow.
we're teaching a lesson, and there's a moment where Usagi and Chibi realize how much they care about each other, but then they, shake hands, and there's an understanding that they'll go back to trying to kill each other tomorrow.
Right.
And then a monster goes, "Rah, I'm a monster," and they go, they just zap it, and it's gone. And it's such a small part of the episode because it has to be there contractually. I would be fine with that. But instead, they don't know how to balance these episodes. And they crawl up their own asses with like, this is hilarious. They're blowing bubbles in a drink, and they're going to like commit to this fully. Normally, I would say commit. If it doesn't work, you got to change it and don't commit to something that doesn't work. And this doesn't really work. And so it goes on. I'm reviewing the episode now. It goes on for so long that once again, there's no time for the villains like, hey, what's up, monster? Oh, he's dead? Okay, I'm bye. I'm going to go. And that's just not enough for me to tell anything. Like, also you get the thing where, you know how like the Justice League goes off and they don't always call Aquaman because they're going to go to the desert or the mountains.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of a problem. If they weren't, all they have to do is leave a dock, and then what's he do?
I
Spit at them from the water?
know.
He would be completely ineffectual on land, and he was
true.
barely ineffectual in the water. So it's a fun design. I like the fact that he's got Aquaman powers. You don't see that very often.
No.
And those things get him to a 3. Good day, sir.
Okay, very fine. Take a bow, our rating of how our villains left the stage of life. His limbs and fins are everywhere, and both the human eyes and the fish eyes are bugging out, and the fish's mouth is also open wide. He yelled, "Stage out!" and then said "Paku" in a normal type of voice. So he was screaming, and then he was normal before dying. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was pretty good.
A 2.
Okay.
He literally did enough to keep him out of a 1. It's another static pose. I guess, the big fish mouth. You're looking down a barrel of a big fish mouth.
Yeah.
And adding a paku is kind of funny, but come on. You gotta really turn it up. You gotta get turned up
Yeah.
to get past me. So a 2.
Okay.
Be happy. Here are 2 bits of bread. Eat them.
Now we're up to our rating. I love the scene at Fruits Parlor Crown where the girls are trying to break the news to Usagi that Chibiusa was in love. I especially liked when Makoto said that she'd found a senpai and Rei spit out her coffee. I love how this repeats itself as the scene goes on. I love that Rei gets mad at Mako. Like, how can you be so sure he's her senpai? I also like how Minako is blowing bubbles in her melon soda and saying that Chibiusa's experienced older sisters will be the ones to give her advice. I love how Mako persists in saying it's a senpai that Chibiusa is in love with and how Rei keeps getting upset with her about it. I love how Chibiusa describes Pegasus to the girls as having a white coat and a vertically long face. That's what it was. I don't like how Mamo asked Chibi how much longer she will want to go on a date with him. And then she says that he will always be her boyfriend. Like, can we steer away from that as well?
Look, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. That's fine. That's cute.
That's sweet.
I mean,
okay.
as long as you don't go to like a purity ball with them.
Fair
but it's
enough.
like,
fair enough.
She's my little lady. I'm gonna marry daddy. That's fine. That's a thing.
You're right. You're right. That's fine.
And
then I'm fine with it.
he's thinking, unlike Usagi, who thinks of her daughter as a younger sister that she must crush. We don't really get into his psychology much, but he seems to see her as, I mean, he is like 19 or 20 or whatever. Like, he sees her as the daughter that he will have one day.
Yeah.
It's other than being unhealthy and weird because of time travel, it's somewhat healthy. And so he is having that thought, a thought that he should have when he's 35 or so and she's turning 14 in the right timeline.
Right.
And, she's wearing makeup and he's thinking, well, it's my little girl. She's not going to be my little girl for much longer. He's kind of having that early. He's having that, that was relatable.
That's true. You're right about that. No, those are some good
But
points.
not in context of everything that's happened so far this season, though. You're right. That's why I said, jealous.
So I thought it had a lot of funny parts in it, and I did laugh a lot. But I don't think it was necessarily put together super well. And we did, as you said, get a lot of vignettes of the same sort of things happening over and over again. So I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 roses.
I want you to be ready for this. I'm going to get serious. I'm coming down hard with the hammer. You better watch out. You may never recover. It's 3 roses.
I was going to give it 4, so
okay.
I went down to 3.
All right. Well, then I don't feel too bad giving it 3 roses.
Okay.
It won me over eventually, but still persistent, unfunny bits, and not ones that the longer you do them, the funnier they're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
More like why are you still doing this bit?
Right.
They tried it, it didn't work. And it's funny because this show, and look, maybe it's not, you swing, you're not, the Ted Williams bat 330, he only hit a third of the time when he got it to play. He's a baseball player. So like, they're not always going to make it. But when you think about the things that this show has pulled off, like a double date with Ale on Mamoru and Usagi, where Mamoru and Usagi are superheroes who I don't think know, well, after the first season they know, but like, they've forgotten their memories or whatever, so they don't know each other as are each other. Ale and An are aliens who are pretending to be human beings. One's in love with the other. It's a love X cross
square
hourglass.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yes, it has to be like this. like they're pulling things off. Like they can do subtext. They can do misappropriation, misunderstanding of stuff. They're not doing that in this. It doesn't work. But there's still stuff that does work. And also, I just love it when the show's like, I don't know this. Let's just have some fun. So, like, the fish doing a header to, like, hit the ball into the... It bounces off all the things. You're laughing like you don't...
I don't remember this
part. The fish jumps out of the water and goes like, oh, like soccer hits the ball. That's like the last hit before the guy gets hit in the back.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, is the fish on her side? Or did she just time it so when the fish jumps up, then it bounces? I don't know. That's funny. They're all moving the things to get closer to their tables. And I noticed there's a piano. Mako moves the piano.
Of course she did, because she's
got
the
super
strongest.
strength. So it's like, all right, the flashes of the show of old here.
Yes.
But still, like I said before, they could have been doing this the whole time. I think we could have gotten, who knows what's going to happen coming up. There could be a couple more episodes like this, but there could have been episodes like this all throughout the run where we get close to realizing something's going on with Chibi here.
Yeah.
Instead of just completely ignoring, and maybe this is, old enough. Maybe this is the effect of the Japanese let her go parenting style. But she's just living on her own.
Yeah.
With a man.
Oh my God.
In her loft apartment. And nobody, only now are they like, wait a minute, something's going on here.
Yeah, that's true.
I heard a man's voice coming from her room.
Yeah.
And CSI's over already. This was at like 9:30.
What's up with that?
So, yeah. But yeah, like, some funny stuff, some flashes of greatness, but it's over. So, once again, 3 roses. Good day, sir. All
right. Sounds good. My English title is Cooks Many, Looks Few.
I love it. My title is Women Gawking.
Next week is another episode of Shore Leave. We hope you will be able to join us on our live stream as we talk about subjects that are related to Japan. And it'll be next week, Friday at 7 p.m. Central.
I say this every single week, but I am really looking forward to next week's Shore Leave because I got a gem.
I'm looking forward to this.
And this isn't a gem in the rough. No chipping, polishing. What do you do with the gem? Yeah, you polish it.
You polish it.
You cut it. No cutting required.
Okay.
This is swinging a pick, clink, clink. Oh my God, the Hope Diamond just comes right out of the mountain. Yeah, I'm really excited about my selection. So
that's awesome. I'm looking forward to it too. I think it's going to be a really fun time.
So join us next week for that on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/justenough-trope. And what the heck, if you're listening to this right now, you're near your computer, just go to twitch.tv/justenough-trope, all one word. Click on the heart icon, maybe even the bell icon. Then you're subscribed and you're ready to get notified when we are live and broadcasting. Look, we have a Patreon. We've talked about this. We're not going to go on too long about it right now, but if you want more content from us, more podcasts, and more anime good times, go to patreon.com/Sailor Noob and sign up to be a Senshi today. Get extra stuff from us. And if you want to buy stuff from us, we got merchandise. You go to justenough-trope, one word there, .threadless.com. That's our merch store. We've got merch on there available, anime-related merch. Check it out. Put something on your body.
That's right.
Please.
Well, that's our show for this week. In the name of the moon, we'll be punishing you next week with another episode of Sailor Noob.
I'm really short like this.